All right, we are live for another episode of Real Estate Junkies podcast. Today, we are diving deep into the inspiring journey of Jeffrey on this week's podcast, this week's episode of Real Estate Junkies, a true Miami at heart. Jeffrey's roots is tracing back to vibrant streets of Miami. But don't just let the Miami vibe fool you. This 14-year real estate broker is as sharp as they come, with a background in law and entrepreneur spirit that knows no bound. Jeffrey has not only built an expansive real estate empire, but has also ventured into the world of real estate investing. Today, he leads a robust real estate team that services in impressive 7 states. How did he do it? How did he make something out of seemingly nothing? Join us today as we uncover the secrets behind Jeffrey's monumental success. Jeffrey, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure having you, brother.
Hey, super excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, man. I'm looking forward to diving in today and discussing not only how I gotten to where I've gotten to, but also there's so much more for me, and I'm excited to share that with you guys today.
Thank you. Thank you. So I will dive right in it. Okay, Jeffrey. Miami is known for its fierce competition, especially in real estate, right? Did your upbringing there mold your approach, especially when it comes to converting, clients? When you first, let's take us back to when you started and how you growing up in Miami played a role in you finding success in real estate.
I think it played a huge part because I was already familiar with the counties, already familiar with the states. I remember growing up being a kid and not having a TomTom or a GPS. I remember actually learning the streets and knowing your north, your south, your east and west. So it made real estate truly fun to understand where when someone said, "Hey, I wanted to be in a particular area." I wanted to be in a particular city where they can draw out what they wanted and I can visualize it and truly make their dreams a reality, which is our signature here at the JC Sales team.
For sure. And your background in law, of course, is definitely something that is uncommon in the real estate industry. Were you able to leverage that unique expertise to navigate the challenges with the real estate business itself to ensure a win-win scenario for all parties? How has that played a role, having a background in law?
I think one of the one things it provided me the opportunity to do is it provided me to understand that it's nothing personal, it's a transaction. So what I've learned in this field is that the realtor partners of mine, they get truly emotional with the process of buying and selling. And that's one thing that we have to do. We have to understand that we're here for the customer, the greater good of the buyer, the seller, or the renter, whoever we're representing at that moment. But I think what it also taught me that it taught me the fundamentals of understanding the importance of a contract, due dates, obligations, due diligence, and so much more. It's quite funny you bring up a law. I was always interested and dreamed of being an attorney. And I remember being 18 years old or maybe 17, and my mother told me to get into real estate, and I said no, that I was going to be an attorney. And then I got into real estate, and here we are, so many years later. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm truly, truly enjoying it.
For sure, and I think being able to be successful in real estate yourself is one thing, but being a successful team leader, leading a team, is definitely something different. So building a team that operates across 7 states, right, is no small feat for someone. Can you break down, I guess, like some key components that have been instrumental in first, like you starting a team, like what caused you to want to start a team, and then scaling yourself or your team effectively?
So be truthful with you, man. I never really thought about starting a team or having a team. Two of my great friends got their real estate license around the same time, maybe even the same week. And they both called me and stated that, hey, they wanted to work with me. One person interviewed me. The other person knew that he was going to be onboarding with me, and overnight we created the team. But one thing that I want to share to anyone that's in any form of leadership, or anyone that wants to start a team or grow a group or go nationwide like myself, is that true leadership is really needed. I've encountered some learning obstacles throughout this whole year, but also this week as well, understanding that there's different personalities out there, not just in the age group aspect. There's some really, really young people that are very, very intellectual, and then there's some really, really older people that are very immature as well. So
Yeah.
it's understanding to not be personal there as well, to understand that there is a line between black and white, but there's also gray. But understanding that right is right and wrong is wrong. And as a leader, it's truly important to be neutral yourself and look at the views of both people, but understand what is the overall goal. Overall goal, once again, I'm going to say that, of the discussion or of the learning curve or whatever's happening there. So I highly recommend that anyone that's looking to go into leadership is to educate yourself and also be coachable. That's the one thing about leaders, is understanding that you're stronger as a team. Understand that you can learn from your associates, you can learn from your partners, and to understand that you have to sometimes know that you're also a student as a leader too. And I've been thrilled to continue to learn each and every single day, being able to partner up with 60 plus people in my team throughout these 7 states. It's truly a whole lot of personalities.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dealing with these different personalities in itself, it's I think a job itself. Now, overcoming the obstacles that comes with the business, right? Like, could you share some stories? For many agents getting into real estate business, and obviously a lot of them don't become successful, that don't truly look at it as business. And obviously you have, and that's why you have expanded yourself as much as you have. Could you share some stories coming into the real estate industry, the real estate space, becoming successful yourself, and then running a business now? Those early day stories, whether with yourself when you were an individual agent or when running a team, some of the obstacles that you faced and how you overcame them.
Hey man, great question, especially with this market that we're in today, September 15th, 2023. I see a lot of people getting out of the business. I see some people interested in getting into the business. I was just speaking to a loan officer that said, man, it's been extremely rough. He has all these buyers. Think about this. He has all these buyers that are interested in purchasing a home. He tries to pre-qualify them, and he just can't find them properties because of where the rate is, where the home prices are, and where people's truly their income is as well. So one thing that I want to tell realtors that are out there, or anyone that's in any field right now, because I know we're all struggling. It's all a little bit harder for us than it was in 2019, 2020, maybe even 2021, is to stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course. Don't be the ones to leave. Be the ones to go even harder. Analyze what is working, delete what is not working, and understand that relationships, education right now, and understanding the true importance of pivoting right now is what's going to allow us the opportunity to stay the course and see this through. See this through. For myself, when I first got into the field, I would say that it's about being disciplined. Your actions will lead to great results. We sometimes like to start things and try it out for a week, or try it out for a day, or try it out for maybe 2, 3 days. And if we're not seeing the results, we say the heck with that and we move on to something else. We want that gratified expectations right away that we really can't get. I love oven cooked food versus microwave cooked food. So think about that when you think about your business.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's a great analogy. And I think this is what's happening in the market right now. A lot of new agents came into the industry over the last 2 to 3 years, and they haven't really learned the business the way they should learn, or establish themselves as that. They done some deals very easily. It came to them, and now they're at a position where deals are just not happening by themselves. So they're just either jumping from one shiny object to another shiny object, which is going from one brokerage to another brokerage, or one team to another team, or giving up, right? So delayed gratification is definitely needed in today's climate, right? But in any business, you're running a business, you're building a business, you're growing a business. I think it's very crucial to keep that in mind, that things just don't happen overnight, right? Rome wasn't built in one night. It was several hundreds of years that Rome was built, and it fell pretty much overnight, right? Even though like you look at history and you can really identify it didn't fall overnight either. It has patterns. Every society that builds and falls, every business that builds and falls, they follow a certain pattern to build and go down, right? So we just need to identify those patterns and be disciplined to create those patterns to build a successful business. Now, running a successful team, in my opinion, behind every successful team or a group or a collective, solid systems and processes is crucial, right? So, can you shed some light on when you went from an individual producer to now running a team? Any specific processes that could be a game changer for your team efficiency?
I think understanding what your team needs, proper staffing, proper scheduling, proper tools. People come to you because they see what you can do for them. And not everyone is meant to lead.
Yeah.
Just because you do one thing well or five things well, don't mean that you're meant to lead, because you're not able to take that and demonstrate other people how to do it, which is something that I still learn myself. I'm still in the process of learning at 34 years old. So what happens is that I don't believe everyone is structured to run a team or be a manager or an administrator or whatever you want to call it, because you do that one thing well, you think that you can coach other people. So I think having patience is number one thing. You've got to have patience. Not everyone's going to learn as quickly. Not everyone's going to intake the information, and not everyone is going to do the activities the same way the next person's going to. So I think definitely being patient. I think definitely understanding truly what the person needs. So I think it's bigger than numbers. So if you're operating a real estate team, I don't believe that it's great to just bring on everyone. Understand if their goals align with yours. Understand if their goals align with yours. And if they don't, then you have to say, hey, maybe we're just not a good fit right now, because where you want to go, I may not have the manpower to do it. I may not have the knowledge to do it, or I may not be the best person to do it, because maybe I'm 10 steps ahead of you at this moment, or maybe I'm 16 steps behind you of where you want to be. So I think truly having that interview where you're interviewing that person, they're interviewing you, you're seeing if there's synergy there. Synergy is the biggest thing that's out there, because I believe, and I was telling one of my partners earlier today that being in a team, having a mentor, being in a training program, having a coach is almost like a marriage. And if we don't ask the right questions, if we do not ask the right questions, if we're not vocal ourselves and true, transparent, and authentic, what we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up to fail and create bad relationships. So I think having open door policy is definitely important for anyone that wants to run a team. But I also think being able to be, once again, coachable and understand how can you service this person, how can you get them towards their goal. I think what happens is we think of being partners with people in real estate is almost like our clients, our buyers and our sellers. So we're going to have some good days. We're going to have some sad days. We're going to have some amazing days. We're going to have some bad days. We're going to have some stressful days. We're going to have some uncertain days. And you have to understand, as the leader, they're going to come to you and they're going to need you to control that wagon, get on that train with them and go up and down those hurdles. And you have to understand where you have to move yourself out the way. And when I say move yourself out the way, that means that if they decide to want to battle you, you have to be able to say, hey, this is not productive. Let's look at the core of the issue. Let's see how we can resolve it. Or maybe they're battling stuff at home. Maybe they're battling stuff with their finances. Realtors are not making money the way they were before, or maybe not even making money at all. So now you have to now examine what can you do versus what you cannot do with them. Because one thing that you is, for example, if you're being extremely successful and they're not successful, there's going to be some type of friction there.
Yeah.
So now you have to watch the stuff that you invite them to, the stuff that you tell them to get involved in, the stuff that you tell them that you're doing. And also, we have to also know that, sometimes we believe that being a little bit rough or being blunt is helpful across the board. And sometimes the message is not received by everyone that way. So we have to understand that just like there's a love language out there, there's a communication language out there, that if you're going to lead a team or lead some people or do whatever in the leadership role, that you have to also kind of understand how to communicate with people effectively.
Yeah. For sure, and I'm very 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 proud of you as 34 year olds. I'm 34-year-old myself, and the amount of wisdom you just dropped right now, it's amazing. And I want to ask you, right, like running a successful team itself is not a easy thing, but you are running a team across different states, right? So what do you, or how do you ensure, I guess, that you maintain the culture of growth all across the board, or your core values that align itself, right? Like, I'm sure you guys don't have brick and mortar offices in all 7 states, right? So there is a lot of remote things going on. So what do you do to ensure that there is a culture of growth, there your core values are aligned with the agents in your teams in these different states?
I think personally get involved with each person. As you decide to grow nationwide, you gotta be involved. These people, so what we have here is we have tiers here, and our tiers are like on 7 levels. So I believe anyone that's on my first, my second, or maybe even my third level are very close to me. So it's getting involved in them, understanding what they're doing, what are they not doing, what do they need help in, who can help them. And maybe once again, it's not you helping them, but you're guiding them towards the person that can help them. So if they're in a different state and you have a colleague that's doing something extremely well and you think that they can collaborate and create some opportunities to make some more dollars, connect them. Don't be selfish. Share
Yeah.
the information out there, connect them with the right people. All they want to do is be successful. People want success. So I think that's number one. And also being able to be reachable. Okay. So either you're going to be reachable where they can reach you at any time, or you're going to have a window of when they can speak to you, or maybe you're on a scheduling system where they need to plug themselves into your schedule. Whichever
Mm.
way you want to work, make
Yeah.
sure that you're reachable, answer your phone, get back to people, provide the tools that they need, let them know that you're there. Let them know that you're there. And when they're speaking to you, understand truly what they're looking for. And if you're not clear on that, ask for clarification. So what I
Yeah.
understand you're saying is, and see how you can guide them to that. One of the one things that you mentioned was that we're hybrid. So the people here that are in South Florida with me can actually touch me, feel me, see me versus my other people. So how do I provide value to the people in other states? Is to truly get involved with them and let them know that, hey, what we're doing down here, we can do it over there. And how do I make myself accessible so that that can happen? So maybe
Mm.
it's traveling, maybe it's partnering them up with some sponsors, maybe it's sending them some dollars, maybe it's collaborating with them on an event or two, letting
Yep.
them know that, hey, because they can't touch you every single day, let them know that you're still accessible to them and you're still there for their future and their goals.
Hmm. Yeah, that's. I think this is the model for the future, right? Otherwise, you would have just been limited to Miami with your brick and mortar location. Now, mastering. My next question is on mastering adaptability. When I look at your story and everything that you guys are doing on social media, look like you guys are blowing up. The real estate market is constantly evolving, right? How do you keep your team and yourself adaptive and ready to pivot, especially when we are dealing with shifting markets like today?
Stay educated. That's all I can say is stay educated. You have to understand your agents are probably running a million miles an hour. They're probably not watching the minute things that's going to impact the real estate market or impact them tomorrow. So you being educated, creating the collaborations with those partners that are knowledgeable in that field. Maybe it's the title, maybe it's the government, maybe it's the mortgage industry, maybe it's the inspection industry, or maybe the insurance, staying knowledgeable, continue to be the one to bring the information back to them in language that they also understand it in too, and how does it impact them? Because one thing people can do is they can take information, but once it starts to impact their pockets,
Yep.
impact their dollars, impact their income, it becomes 10 times more important than just hearing it. So truly letting them know how does that impact them when it comes to their dollars, their transactions, how they can grow through it, how they have to scale back. So I think as a leader is definitely being 10 steps ahead if you possibly can.
Yes, that's definitely a great advice. Now, there is a lot of agents that I talk to right now. There are, kind of dealing with the idea of scaling into a team because they have had some great years over the last 3 to 5 years. Now it's the market's kind of shifting. They're kind of like doubtful. They had a plan to start a team. right? So for agents who are looking to scale their operations, going from either a single agent to small team or even a bigger team, what one piece of advice you would give them about team building or scaling to a team or scaling with a team that you wish someone had given you when you were starting your team?
I would definitely say that a team is what you make a team. Number one. So a team is not a whole bunch of agents. Don't believe that a team is a whole bunch of agents. A team may be staffing. A team may be a buyer's agent, a showing agent, a listing manager, a listing agent, a concierge service, So identify truly what you're lacking, what you need assistance in. So if you're stacked with 20 listings, for example, and you're not able to get back to your customers and they're calling you, you may need a concierge service, someone that's answering your phones, answering your emails, answering your DMs in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you know? So maybe I need to go and find that person. I can VA a lot of stuff today, especially as we move into the tech world. There's so many VAs that are out there for everything that's needed, so many systems and platforms that's out there. There's answering services that are out there. There's Ring Central that's out there, okay? Or maybe you have a lot of listings and now you need people to host open houses, people to show the property. So don't just think that you need a whole bunch of agents to get you to what you need. I think you got to go back and you have to identify exactly what is it that you're lacking. And maybe
Yep.
you're a great buyer's agent. You stack up on buyers, you get them to the closing tables, but you need help getting listings. You need help creating the inventory. So maybe you're going to partner up with someone that's a heavy listing agent, a listing machine, and say, hey, this is my team now. And how can I provide value to them? I can bring in the buyers to their listings. So think about exactly what you need. Sometimes we feel that, hey, we're going to go by quantity instead of quality. And then it really doesn't help us. We end up having to backtrack because we started at the wrong idea. So I think for anyone that's building a team, first identify what is it that you truly need assistance in? Why is it that you're thinking to build a team? And use that. And maybe it is a whole bunch of agents you need because you're in 7 states or you're in 8 states or you're in 3 counties, maybe, So see how that's going to help you to grow your numbers. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't make monetary sense to you, then you're only going to set yourself up to be frustrated. You're going to set your agents up to be frustrated. They're not going to be successful. So identify when to cut the fat right away and understand where you need assistance. And I always heard hire slow and fire fast.
Yeah.
And I believe that's a great model to live by because it allows us the opportunity to understand when growth is needed within our business so we can get to the next level.
Yeah, I feel like over the last few years, running a team has become this like new shiny object, and everyone wants to do it. I just had a meeting actually with someone. He might be watching this, but he first thing he told me, I my goal is to run a team, and he himself had been in business only for a couple years. And I asked him, my first question was, "What do you think you need to run a team?" And he had no clue, right? So I didn't want to discourage him, but I broke down what it takes to start a team, or how I did it, right? And it felt like to me that he was already discouraged. But I think end of the day, it's all about vision. You see that how far do you want to go? Do you even need a team to do that, right? Why do you even need a team if you don't want to? And what you propose, the micro team concept, I think it's much in today's climate with the shifting market, with a lot of volatility in the market. I think micro team with low overhead and less management and less headache is definitely something that for someone to consider. Now, with you seem like a very capable person, and obviously you have grown a team of in 7 states, and you're producing yourself and you're out there on social media. So now I want to ask you is that why not open up your own company? Why partner with EXP? And why are you guys at EXP? And how long have you guys been here? How has that played a role into your vision?
Hey man, great question. I'm excited to discuss it. I've been with EXP Realty for a year and 9 months now. I
Same
decided,
here.
oh my gosh, amazing, brother. I decided to partner up with EXP because I saw the opportunity to go faster. And I could have opened my brokerage a decade ago. I could have opened my brokerage 2 years ago. so many people believe that I have the broker style in me. I can grow a huge brokerage. But one thing that I can say is that you have to have the desire to want to do that, number one. If you don't have the desire to want to do that, you're not going to be great at it, you know? So I see a lot of people open up brokerages and they have no agents, or I see a lot of people open up brokerages and they close them down. I see a lot of people open up brokerages and they can't provide the tools to their associates. I see a lot of brokers that open up brokerages and then they're out selling real estate, you know? Nothing against being a competing broker, but I believe that if you're going to be a broker, the agents are coming to you so that you can guide them, you can provide tools, you can provide leads to them, and you can get them to be 6 figure, 7 figure, 8 figures earners. So for me, I never wanted to be a broker as far as running my own brokerage. I believe I can definitely do it. I think I know I'll be successful at it, but I enjoy selling real estate. I truly do enjoy selling real estate. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I've identified what I'm great at right now. I'm now seeing how can I scale it to the next level, and I'm trying to master that each and every single day. So I decided to partner up with EXP because I was with another brokerage for many, many years. I was top everything, you know, top five in my office for many, many years, top three to be exact for many, many years, you know, top 20 within the company. You know, I was number one in this, number two in that, number one in that. You know, I have the award as I look at them right now. And I looked at the model of EXP and I said, man, where's a company that's going to provide me health insurance? What company is going to provide me an opportunity to create revenue shares? What company is going to allow me to grow out to 7 states, you know, and maybe even larger later on, you know? And I was in the midst of making my decision. I had people that were inboxing me within other states that wanted to work with me, and I just couldn't because my company was based out of one state. Okay, I had the opportunity of tapping into the tools that's here. You know, I'm excited to be a part of the 10X family, Grant Cardone, Atlanta Cardone, and be a part of their environment. I think energy is everything.
Yeah.
I truly believe that energy is everything. I believe that the people you surround yourself with, you end up implementing, you end up becoming them, you end up duplicating what they're doing and becoming great at it just as they are. So why would I mess up that? You know, the guy's a billionaire, his wife's a billionaire, you know. The opportunity to learn what they're teaching was something that's had me like thrilled. It had me thrilled. I believe EXP is a great company. Not any company out there is a perfect company, but I believe that EXP understands where it needs growth at, and I see the changes happening. I see the company growing in different countries, different states. You know, health insurance, you know, is one of the biggest things that's out there. I truly believe in the model. One of the one things that I did was I was excited that my agents were now able to get what's called revenue shares. So when they bring someone over, they're now able to create opportunities for them to probably retire in the near future because of the income that they created. I like the model so much that some of my agents had brought people over at our last brokerage and I wasn't able to reward them any type of way. So what did I do? I plugged them underneath them. You know, I have one of my agents right now that he was able to come over here and open up his fourth level. Other people were able to open up their third level because of the way we were able to stack the people up. And now every time that person closes a transaction, he or she is creating income from that. You know, I love my team that I'm a part of. I love a lot of my partners. I love what they're doing. I'm learning from them each and every single day. And I knew that I was home the first Wednesday night. A meeting was held and they were talking about setting goals. They were talking about affirmations. They were talking about numbers. They were talking about working with sellers. You know, I wasn't getting that at my last company, and I knew something was missing. I was looking for something. I sat there in my kitchen. Actually, I stood there in my kitchen, and when I just listened to the conversation going up my first call, I was like, I am intrigued. I'm excited. I was truly excited, and I knew I had made the best decision at that moment, you know. And then just to see other people coming up to EXP, seeing other brokerages coming into EXP, seeing other great producers in the luxury space, in the residential space, 20 plus years, 30 plus years, 10 plus years in the business coming over to EXP. Why not? Anyone that's out there that's thinking about opening up their own brokerage, I invite them to have a conversation with EXP Realty before going out there and dealing with all that overhead and the stocks and dealing with, I mean, not the stocks, the E&O insurance and all that other stuff, is to have a conversation with EXP and see how can that get you to your goal faster.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great explanation, and I myself looked at the model 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago now, over 4 years ago, and I said, okay, this is the model for the future, but I will wait and see how that goes, right? And 3 years later, when I decided, you know what, I'm gonna build something of my own, but let me do some research. Who's the best out there? Who should I build like, right? I truly believe you want to be successful in something in the fastest way or shortest amount of time, model a successful model that's already out there. So I'm like, okay, what's the best like potential for future for real estate? Because if I'm going to build something, I want to build something for the future and not just for now. So I looked up, EXP and all the other different brokerage, but EXP again stood out because of the cloud-based brokerage model, no franchises, free for all for everyone. If I open an office in a certain city, there could be 10 more offices with the same brokerage. So it's like free for all, no monopoly, right? Like you can it's a funny joke that we say in our group is that their agents in other brokerages, they wait for permission to expand to different states, and if agents in exp, they wait for their own willingness, right, to expand in different states. So it's just like it's a no-brainer to me. It's just like, why would I want to build a brokerage myself and all the systems and processes for me to be able to not only support my own office, but then let's just say I grew like a franchise brokerage where I gave franchises out to different franchisees, provide the support to them, the amount of overhead, why not just leverage what's already built? Why recreate the wheel? But beyond that, the share opportunity, I mean, the amount of wealth I have built in this one and a over I think it's been like a year and 7 months for me that I've been in the company, 8 months. The amount of wealth I created in this 2 years, I have not 10 years prior to that. So definitely the way you see your world or your vision is what you get. Like this, that's what I truly believe, that whatever your vision is, that should drive you to make decision. It shouldn't be an ego thing. And that's why I decided not to open my own brokerage, which I never wanted to do in the first place. Now we're coming in close on our time. I want to ask you, can you share one transformational story where you turned a challenging situation in your business where it looked like a fail, right? Like it looked like it's not gonna work out, or deal is dead, or whatever the situation may be. A story that either went viral for yourself, right, and your team, or became a lesson for you.
I think that's an amazing question, man. And as you asked me that, I already know what comes to mind. I think COVID, man. 2020, we went into lockdown, and a lot of us were freaking out on what to do next. We were gonna have to get jobs. Real estate was dead.
Hmm.
I got into coaching, man. I committed to a $1,200 bill at that same time because I said, I've been doing real estate forever. I got nothing else. So what's going to help me? What's going to help me to get over this curveball, to get to the next level? And that was coaching, somebody to hold me accountable, somebody to give me some tools and some systems, something that I can now trickle down to my team as well, and something that I hope can hold me accountable so that I can do extremely well. 2020 was an amazing market. It was an amazing market, and I know that the coaching program helped me to do that. So what I want to say is that when everyone's going this way, you want to go ahead and go that way. You want to divert from what everyone else is doing. When people are scaling back, pulling back, you want to say, man, let's go faster, let's go harder, let's implement some new things. As everyone right now, I believe that the luxury market is the space to be in, especially for South Florida. Okay, the people that are buying $300,000 homes, $500,000 homes are not the buyers right now. They're thinking about the interest rates. They really don't have the funds to close. The mortgage numbers are freaking them out. But what I see right now is that the luxury market is moving. It's moving extremely well, and the commercial market is moving extremely well. So being able to identify that quickly as possible and say, hey, I got to put myself into that space.
Yeah.
So for me and for anyone else that's out there is to examine your market right now. See what is happening. Truly study your market, not just study your MLS, but study your market, see what's happening, and see how you can make a change. I think of Ricky Carruth when he said that the market died in 2007, 2008, and he went to get a job, but he came back to real estate. and he came back stronger than he ever was before. He launched a coaching program there. He was determined to be a listing machine, and he did exactly that. So I always tell people that 30 days your life can change if you truly focus, buckle down, put your head to something.
Mm.
30 days your life can truly change. So for anyone out there that's struggling right now, anyone out there that's saying, hey, what do I do right now with this market that's just not moving? You want to say, man, what can I attach myself to? What can I write out? What can I outline? What can I learn? And what can I shift in the next 30, 60, 90 days that's going to set me up for the rest of my life?
Amazing story. And actually, I was in the same situation. 2020 was my last year as an independent agent. And I still remember it was March, about like March 11, I think. I was just sitting I had my office in my basement in my previous house. I was living in a different house, and I was looking over my numbers, the amount of money I think we were spending like $7,000 in ad spend for our business. And I was on Zillow back then, and I'm looking at it, and it looks like everyone else is pulling back, like everyone else like literally shut down their marketing. And I'm like, there is where is all of these clients gonna go? I had like about 12, I think, active buyers at the time, and I'm like, I could either pull back like everyone else and just hope for things to go back to normal. I could go hard. And I still remember Zillow was offering like a 50% off because they were trying to retain clients. And I'm like, 50% off. So that means even, if I doubled my ad spend, I'm still going to pay the same amount I was spending. And I decided to double my ad spend for 3 months straight. And then after that, I just canceled Zillow altogether. I pulled out of Zillow. I already wanted to be out of Zillow a year before that. But like that 3 months was caused my best year ever in real estate. I was like, throughout COVID, I was servicing like 20 buyers at a time. And, it was crazy. And it caused me to, like everything else, trickle down. After 3 years after that, I started my team the following year, completely got out of production, started my coaching program. And I am where I am because of not pulling back like everyone else, but doubling down on my ad spend, on my work. I was working 20 hours a day in a COVID year, being shut down in the house, still working 20 hours a day and still servicing clients, still selling houses. So amazing story, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Again, those of you who listen in, thank you for listening in. And when this podcast is available on all the channels, we'll share that on our social media. And if you're listening in and you are one of those agents who is feeling the fear or uncertainty that is in the market, you don't know where to go, you're lacking focus and direction in this shifting market, we are giving away our 30-day boot camp for Facebook ad strategy, where you will be able to set up your own ads and automate your lead generation and conversion with messenger bot templates that we have built out. We have sold this boot camp for $6,000 in the past over the last 3 years. We're giving that away. We will get 30-day access to the course for you to be able to leverage everything we teach and generate your leads on automation. Jeffrey, again, brother, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for sharing your story. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm hoping to see you on EXPCon and get connected with you.
Most definitely, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, brother.